I'm about to turn this NASA tech news into a fresh YouTube-style breakdown with real personality and analysis. My take: democratizing data exploration within a safety-critical program is big. It means metallurgists, process engineers, and design folks can challenge assumptions in the same space, lowering the chance that a key insight gets stuck in one person's inbox. What's notable: this is a move toward living, collaborative optimization, where software tools become part of the daily toolkit for complex manufacturing. Idea 4: space-filling design of experiments to map the nonlinear parameter space. SRFSW's relationships between variables aren't simple. Traditional factorial designs fell short, so they use space-filling DOE to capture the nonlinear behavior and train data-driven models that reflect the true weld physics. My view: this is a practical nod to the reality that you can't assume linearity in real-world materials and tools. It's a reminder that exploring broad, well-spaced experiments with smart sampling can reveal structure that narrow designs miss. Bigger picture: this reflects a broader shift in engineering towards smarter experimentation, combining design of experiments with ML to build robust models faster. Idea 5: physics-based SRFSW simulation as a cognitive partner. They built a computational weld model to simulate conditions, microstructure evolution, and properties, accessible factors that direct sensors can't capture. This guided improvements by revealing hidden causes and future-facing opportunities. My interpretation: simulations let you probe what-if scenarios without costly physical tests. In aerospace, where millions of dollars and safety hinge on a single weld, having a credible, physics-grounded model is invaluable. Why it's impactful: it ties theory to practice, enabling better parameter guidance and more confident design choices. It also demonstrates how hybrid tooling, combining ML with physics, can outperform either approach alone. Root cause clarity: two big culprits and practical fixes. They pinpointed two primary causes: overly aggressive post-weld surface prep and weld power input outside the optimal range. The process models defined a proper target power window and how to adjust control parameters to hit it reliably. My read: solving the root cause is the mark of a mature optimization loop. It's not enough to detect weaknesses, you must translate that into actionable controls and confirm with production tests. This is how you achieve repeatability in a real factory setting. What this implies: safety and performance are tightly linked to process discipline. Small deviations can cascade into weaker joints or defects like LTA, so tight control bounds paired with real-time monitoring become necessary. Connecting to bigger trends. The blend of ML, data engineering, and physics-based simulation in a high-stakes setting mirrors what's happening across advanced manufacturing. We're moving toward intelligent, self-improving production lines that learn from every weld to become more reliable over time. A detail I find fascinating: they pre-trained their microscopy model on a massive library of images, leveraging transfer learning to bootstrap specialized tasks. That's a smart reuse of existing expertise and data, accelerating niche capabilities. What this really suggests is a broader shift toward transparent, data-driven manufacturing where decisions are traceable, revision-friendly, and backed by multimodal evidence, from pixels to pressure curves to microstructure maps. Closing thought. If you're building anything where tiny defects scale into big failures, the lesson is clear: integrate robust data infrastructure, leverage advanced analytics, and couple them with physics knowledge to guide actions. The NASA team didn't just fix a problem, they built an adaptable toolkit for future frontier manufacturing. Final reflection: in a world where automation and AI touch more of the factory floor, the real competitive edge is the speed and clarity with which humans can interpret model signals and steer processes. The question I'd leave you with: as these toolkits become more accessible, will smaller teams start adopting this kind of integrated approach to stay competitive? I'm curious to hear your take. If you found this breakdown helpful, drop a comment with which idea you think has the most potential to transform other industries beyond aerospace. And tell me, would you want more deep dives into the ML/modeling side or more on the physics and process control side? Optionally, share thoughts on how you'd apply a similar fusion of ML and physics in a different manufacturing context.